Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's VinPF, and on today's episode we're going to be covering something from a distillery that I haven't actually covered before, and that's the Auchentoshan 3-wood. We're jumping ahead a little bit in terms of their core range, so I haven't covered the classic or the 12-year, jumping straight into 3-wood, but I'm not really into doing things in order on this channel, so why not? I thought let's just jump straight into it. So Auchentoshan is a lowland whisky. It's made in Glasgow, so it's not far from the city. This particular one is 43% and comes in at the UK roughly £35 to £40 depending on what kind of deals you find, so it's nicely priced. The classic, which is now replaced by the American oak, is sort of 25 but can be £20, so it can be on deal quite a lot. A lot of people overlook Auchentoshan because they think it's quite bland, quite boring. Some of the lesser aged ones, sure, I get that. But as we start going into the realms of this, as we'll see, things start getting a little bit more interesting. So it's called 3-wood, and that means it's got 3 different kinds of barrels put into one whisky. That's ex-bourbon, as you might expect. It's also ex-sherry, and finally ex-Pedro Jimenez. Let's see what influence that has on this whisky on the nose. Now, straight away, it's like super sweet. If you're into your sherries or you've had lots of sherried whiskies, it's up there with those. Lots of sherry influence into it, lots of high sugars, lots of things like raisins, which is very indicative of Pedro Jimenez sherry itself. I find when I drink it, the normal sherry, it's very high on raisins, very high on dried fruits. Really, really nice nose. I'm enjoying it personally. I quite like the sweeter whiskey, so for me, this is right up there with stuff that I like. But I can understand that this would put some people off. If I'm really digging, I think I can pick some citrus out of it as well, more orangey. Let's try on the palate. It's got a really kind of smooth, for want of a better word, start to it. There's a little bit of spiciness to the finish. More of those big hit sherry flavours. Definitely some malty, grassy flavours in there as well. So it's kind of in between two, if that makes sense. But overall, I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, it's a tasty dram, and although I haven't covered the American oak or the 12-year, I think it's a decent step up from those. Not to discount them at all, because they're very valid in the whiskey cabinet, because they're a nice, easy drinking, nice cheap whiskies. For £20 for the American oak, you can't really complain, and it's not very interesting, but it's a good, solid whiskey. This has a little bit more interest to it. So if you're looking to step up that into something a little bit more kind of palate challenging, then this is perfect. It starts getting a little bit expensive for sure. So, you know, I said earlier, roughly £35 to £40. So it's starting to get slightly difficult to recommend if you're not into the Auchentoshan flavours. But if you're a big fan of sweet whiskies and specifically sherried whiskies, then I think this is a decent one to go to, and I'm happy with it since it got released in 2002. I can't say fairer than that, really.